What is up, YouTubers? Hey, how's it going? It's a great Monday. Okay, we got some show notes. If you want to screenshot that, here we go. I hope you can see that. We are doing some stuff. Oh, you can't see that at all. Here's the way I'm holding it. My hopes have improved that you might be able to see that. Give her a pause. I don't know. Maybe you'll get a picture later on a different episode of this old truck. How are you today? Okay, so consider the dream. All right, so this was like a super bonus. I'm going to make a list of 10 things I do while I'm aggressively waiting, kind of outlining what I do, because I don't get to go home at night because I'm stuck living in the parking lot. So I have to entertain myself, and entertainment's like, okay, whatever. But building skills and stuff is better, in my estimation. Better way to spend time. I want to spend time. I don't want to kill time, because time's like, we all got 24 hours a day. We're not guaranteed tomorrow, so why kill that? Probably do not want to kill any time. But I don't need to work myself to death either. Like, I don't want to get worn out. So there's a mix in there where you're using your downtime and entertainment, where you're stuck waiting, which everybody loves, to monetize the things that you like. And then instead of the word monetize, would just like have value, because like, you know, your self-worth and your wealth can be measured on a few different ways, a few different dynamics. And money's easy to quantify because we can count. You know, how much you like playing with your dog. Not as easy, you know, in the variables. And then individual to individual, we're looking from our own perspective. So there's a need to define terms so that, you know, I think $5 is $5, you think $5 is $5. So once we're in agreement on that, we can do commerce. That's easy because numbers. Now, I like my dog, and my wife likes my dog, but I don't want the dog in the house. I don't like it that much. She likes him at the house. She wants him to jump in the bed. And I'm just like, I don't want dog hair in the bed. You know what I mean? Like, I come home, I change the linens. You know what I mean? When I'm at home on home time, like, you know, I don't like that. Anyway, but we both like the dog. And the words that we use are, I like the dog. So, because there's no numbers involved, it makes it difficult. And then this whole thing, this scale of 1 to 10, where you at, is still just numbers trying to quantify, but kind of a waste of time due to the fact that the individuals have different number references. You know what I mean? Like, you take the person that exaggerates. You're, oh man, we'll give 110%, turn it up to 11. Dude, 10's the most. You know what I'm saying? Like, even what you're talking about now is not your full potential. So, even though you're all excited and saying 110%, cranked up to 11, the observational is, you know, you're 70% turning it up to 84. And you got 16% of untapped potential. So, that's reality. You know what I mean? But if you really get down to the bases like that, they're already offended. So, you know, whatever you're talking about, you know, you just threw out the baby with the bathwater. You see what I'm saying? So, you got to understand, you know, this person exaggerates. You know, this other person, they're like meek and, you know, timid, skittish, whatever. So, you got to know the individual to a level to be able to determine and, you know, kind of correct parameters to get it in your head what they're saying, which is where all men are trying to deal with their wife on some level, because one of the ultimate dad jokes is Dad gave us a wife and kids, like the Creator. Like the things that, because we're kind of His kid in rebellion, so He gave us teenagers, and then we're kind of like making Him wait and being fussy, kind of like a cat, and that's why He gave us a wife. So how your wife is doing to you, that's probably what you're doing to God. And the sooner you can just like shut up about it and realize that, course correct, after that, through trials and long suffering, the stuff with your wife will start to line out. In my experience, I don't know if that's anyone else's experience, but it's definitely my experience for sure. Because when I'm going around the mountain, and I'm going around and around and around and around, I know that I'm being tested by God. So, since I'm being tested by God, I know that when I figure it out, I don't have to go around the mountain again. I know that when I, establish something in the marriage, I got like a 2-year practice. You know what I mean? And all the fuss and flack that I catch in the meantime, I just got to figure I got that covered. Because I've made mistakes, so, it's probably my fault. I'm the head, so I'm literally responsible. Like, I'm the one that's going to give account for this deal. So, the Lord sees fit to settle me in a position of fussy with the wife. Well, that fuss is a requirement. It says somewhere there, it says that He will give us the things we need with persecutions. You'll find that. It will stick out to you. The persecutions, they will stick out. So how you gonna make it through all this stuff? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, you gotta sit down in a rocking chair or something like that, watch the sun go down and diffuse from all this pressure. And then on the other hand, like, you need the pressure and the unrelenting love for your family to keep you going on the hard days. You know what I mean? Like, it's real easy on them days you get to go to work sometimes that they're having the family event at the get together. You're having the Thanksgiving dinner, and there's everybody with the joy that they bring. As you count that suffering joy, you'll be more godly in your endeavor. Okay, so that's good. All right, now, 8 minutes into my preamble here, because we all know this is going to go for an hour probably. Okay, so I wrote something down, kind of rare. Okay, so it's consider the dream. Okay, so like dream, do, D for do, R for real, and also a / romance, romantic. E for excellent, A for adventure, M for meaningful. Okay, so let's define some words here, because like we're going to try to find our dream. Like what am I dreaming about? What is this thing that's going to be cool? It could be short, it could be long. You know what I mean? It could be audaciously grandiose and very difficult to obtain. So, whether it's, are we going to take a cruise to the Caribbean? Probably not right now. We're definitely not getting on a fast boat, seeing how fast we can make it to Key West, Florida. I recently seen that. I was like, you boys better call somebody and you better let the authorities know you're doing this time trial and like give them some numbers, like for your cell phone and shit, because like they just blowed some people up down there, thought they's drug dealers and stuff. So, go ahead and call the Coast Guard. Hey, get blowed up because they think you're a terrorist or something. Try to avoid that. Anyway, yeah, so I did the acronym do, real, excellent, adventure, meaningful. Now I doubled back on the R and put romantic because, like, you need that. You gotta have something for your woman and everything. So, number 1, do and action. I got this. If you Google this, you'll find this yourself. Number 1, do and action. The precise nature of which is often unspecified. So, like, I'm gonna let's do lunch. You know what I mean? So when I'm saying do, like, why am I saying what I just defined? Okay. So real. Number 2, real. The R. Actually existing as a thing or occurrence, a fact, not imagined or supposed. So it's real. So we're just not our fictitious, delusional, whatever. This is real. And then romantic could be the expression of love, and it could be a suggestive view of reality. So on our R, we got the real, what is real, but then we also have the romance. You know what I mean? Some people say bromance, some people say they love God, whatever. So there's room in our dream to keep it real and, keep it loving and express that, okay? So excellent, E, excellent, the 3rd letter. Extremely good, used to indicate approval / pleasure. Okay, so that's excellent. And then you got, like, degrees of excellence. So, I could just be saying, I could be making an observation. I could also be, I think there's it's like a subjective way of measuring worth. You know what I'm saying? So, like, they call God Most High and everything. Of course, Bill and Ted, they're excellent adventure. They said, be excellent to one another. And a good man pointed that out, saying that that's probably better advice than all the religions of the world. You take some of the best advice from all these different religions, boil them down, compare that with be excellent to one another, and you will find the others lacking in comparison. So that's real good. That's real good. It's extremely good, literally. Excellent, extremely good. I like that. Okay, adventure. Our 4th letter, A. An unusual and exciting, typically hazardous experience or activity. So, we're riding the motorcycle into traffic. We're climbing the mountain. It's dark. We're camping. Things go bump in the night. You know what I mean? And that's exciting. But, there's some hazards involved. I was talking with my sister yesterday about her ducks, and she said, well, you don't really want to run with the ducks because they might turn an ankle. And I thought about a duck running in my head, and then I thought about the duck turning an ankle and beginning to limp. And I just laughed so much. And so I was like, the hazard for the duck is trying to run for that specific breed of duck, species, whatever. Genus Bodophytus, scientific name, I don't know. These are just words. But yeah, I thought that's funny, like a duck turned his ankle. Okay, so the adventure, man, and then you got, like, the adventure of life. You know what I mean? Just living, just driving to work is hazardous and stuff like that. And, like, you want to be the best that you can be and be excellent to everybody. So, like, leave people room in the traffic. Like right now, I got an elder in a Subaru. I stopped and left him space to pull out in the road because there's a red light. And it turns out he's at the Hope Cancer Resources. So Subaru, Arkansas guy, let's throw out a prayer for Subaru guy. Lord Most High, gracious Father, please heal the cancer of this man or his family. In Jesus' mighty name, in your name and goodness, we pray. Amen. So, that's how you handle business on that deal. The Hope Cancer Resources, man. Support groups, financial assistance, nutrition education, prevention education. So that's real good. Say a prayer for Hope Cancer Resources and Subaru guy, for him and his family. Support, educate, prevent. Get your vitamins and minerals. Do your taxes. Okay. Meaningful, number 5. Yeah, we're living the dream here. Okay, so, in your adventure and stuff like that, as you're considering this thing, keeping it real and imagining both, double R. Just from DMX. Double R. So, meaningful. Having meaning, having a serious, important, or useful quality or purpose. A useful quality or purpose. So, in our endeavor to live the dream, we need purpose. That's a very big deal. A very, very big deal. And without purpose, like, what are you doing it for? You know what I mean? And even people that are like super wealthy, they're like the biggest givers sometimes. And what are they giving into? You know what I mean? What's the purpose? What's the reason behind it? I mean, you judge the tree by the fruit. So it doesn't matter if it's a big old apple tree or a great big, horse apple tree with thorns. And, the horse apples, I've never actually seen a horse eat one. Do they eat them? I don't know that much about horses, I guess. I know about chickens somewhat. Anyway, if I had to live on horse apples, I would be upset. I don't know if I could endure that very long. I mean, it's all I can do to just, keep a carnivore diet, eating steak and eggs. I mean, it's like, that ain't nothing to sneeze at right there. But, what am I, 14 days into this deal? And I'm loving it, man. Like, I like going to the grocery store, and it's narrowed down. So, like, my short-term dream is to make it 75 days on the carnivore diet. And I'm using the 75 Hard app. You can download that at andyfrisella.com, or I think it's 75hard.com has it as well, or you can type it into the Google Play thingy, store, whatever, the Bleep Block Blooper. And you can get that app. I believe it's $7 one time to get the real deal, and it's worth $1 billion. I think I got it 2 years ago, and like the app is still good. There's no reoccurring payments or nothing like that, and then it's a great tracker. You know what I mean? A very wonderful tracker of progress and stuff like that. And twice I have not been able to click the thing before it turned midnight due to the scheduling or whatever. I managed to get the stuff in. So my advice there is, as you do the stuff, click the thing. Like at one point, I was away from electricity and the phone died. You know what I mean? So it's like, get the phone charged up, it comes back on, it's 11:20 or whatever, you know what I mean? So technically it's not required to log everything before midnight. You got to accomplish everything before midnight, and it's not an accomplishment to actually post it or whatever. Anyway, maybe I'm messing it up. I'm probably doing it wrong. I'm going to say, with my imperfection and my attempt to finish the program 27 times. I think I did 75 hard twice with breaks, because I know I tried for 6 months and never got it done. So, every day I would mess something up and start over. I was talking to somebody about it. They're like, well, have you done the program? I'm like, no, I ain't never. It's hard, man. I ain't never been able to do it. And they said, well, how long have you been trying? I said, about 6 months. And it'd be 12:05. Oh, finish this water. well, you got to start over. You know what I mean? So, or like, I'm doing a workout and the stupid load comes, and then I take off and I go and then do it and whatever, you know what I mean? So, I may have done it repeatedly at this point, but not accurately. Therefore, I did not do it. So, and I'm fat still, so you can tell. See, like, I wouldn't be so fat. I'd have more discipline to stay on topic, chase my dream right now. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things. Like, I'm dreaming about getting 75 hard done. I'm dreaming about having a healthy enough body that I can breathe through my nose and smell stuff. That would be nice. And yeah, so let's go over this one more time. Having meaning, having a serious, important, or useful quality or purpose. Now, what is useful quality? They can break stuff down and make it into other stuff. You got this whole recycle, circle of life dynamic, so that's real good. So DREAM, DREAM, this is considered a dream. Because you're not living the dream yet. This is considered a dream, specifically. So, D as in do, R as in real / romantic, E as in excellent, A as in adventure, M as in meaningful. So you want to do stuff, you want to keep it real, keep it romantic too, though. And then, you really want to define that. You want to be excellent to one another and to yourself. You want to have adventure in this deal, and it's got to be meaningful. You know what I mean? So, with these parameters and outlines, when you're eating your lunch or something else like that, consider your dreams. And I would say come up with a dream list based off a time frame. You know what I mean? So, if you're dreaming about having that beach body, just plan on that for, 2027 in May. Start right now. Move towards that goal. You know what I mean? You want to look good in a swimsuit by, May 31st, 2027, right? That's a noble goal. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that you want to do to be healthy. You know what I mean? So, you want to narrow down what do you like, what do you don't like, and part of wealth is your concept of your own body, your concept of your own abilities, and then like self-esteem, and you want to have some romance there, and you got to have some real there too. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, the ladies love me because I'm funny. Yeah, but you're blubberous, and they don't like that so much. There's a bunch of gold diggers that lie to you and act like they like you. Like that guy, I seen something about Jimmy John. He's like they started the sub shop or whatever. Like there's all this controversy or whatever, and he's standing there on this giant boat. These two very in shape, voluptuous ladies in bikinis, and this dude's just like. I'm like, if this dude didn't have this boat and this money, or funny, or something, like they're, yeah, anyways, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So, I know a lot of fat people. A lot. And I myself at one point was not fat. And I said, I'm going to get fat. Because I like eating what I want. And I'm married. I'm like, well, I'll just let myself go and get fat. I'm married. I literally said that out loud. And my mother-in-law and my wife went like that. And I took a vow to not sweat. Because I was a roofer, man. I was so sick. Like, I have sweat until I died before. And, yeah. And, yeah, like... I was like, I'm going to set the thermostat in the truck and just drive the truck. You know what I mean? That was the dream. And the thought of doing that and relaxing and eating at these restaurants that are nice and real good and like, previously unavailable due to a lack of funding and transportation, or freedom. Like sometimes when you're in jail, if you go to your county jail and just stay in a concrete box by yourself for about 9 months, you will think about, you will have dreams about going to a restaurant with family and friends and enjoying a meal. Like you'll reminisce. You'll have dreams about how grandiose, because you'll read these books and stuff, and it's like kind of like watching TV but better, and then it influences your dreams. So depending on what you're reading, that's how you're dreaming, like actually asleep having a dream. You know what I mean? So as you think about the things that you want to do, do as a dream, like what do you want to do? You might consider writing your own obituary. Write your own obituary and be like, he was a this, she was a that, today we lay to rest so-and-so who accomplished X, Y, Z. It was like this, they were like that, always came through, blah, 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 blah. Write it down. Like, what do you want them to say when you're dead? You know what I mean? And that's a good way to put some time into this thing about figuring out, where you want to be. You know what I mean? That's, if you don't have a target, you're not going to hit it. Those that fail to plan are planning to fail, right? So you don't want to fail yourself. You know what I mean? And the better self you are, the more selfless you can be. It's kind of counterintuitive, but the more that I try to be the best me I can be, the more that I'm actually, the less that I'm selfish in that endeavor. And the more that I try these hard, difficult things, the more I feel fulfilled, and the more that I can help those that are up and coming in the way, and the way of excellence. And that is, something else, you know what I mean? And you get some purpose and some meaning. You don't want to go to hell, so you read the Bible about Jesus. You know what I mean? So then, now it's like, okay, this is the most excellent way. You're in 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Like you read chapter 12, it's like, okay, this is supernatural giftings that God gives various individuals, various degrees at different times and stages in their life. You know what I mean? Like, it's awesome. And then he says, let me show you the most excellent way. You know what I mean? So this is most excellent. It's like love is patient, love is kind, love is long-suffering, It doesn't find fault, and it's not envious or jealous or whatever, anyway. So, I think it is jealous, actually. Like you should be jealous. Like if you're married and somebody's like, trying to put the moves on your woman, like go to the person and be like, yeah, I find them attractive as well. However, that's mine. Kick rocks. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I was roofing my house and an ex of my wife showed up and was there to help with the laptop or something. And she was out of town. And I told that guy, I get off the roof, I'm going to just drip in sweat. And it was hot and everything else like that. And I was like, so you're so-and-so, huh? I was like, well, I suggest that you just get back in your vehicle and leave out from these parts. Don't come back. Like, you're in danger here. I will kill you. You're really in danger. Like, you're about to lose your life. And if you'd like to keep it, go on about your business. Well, I'm here to don't care. I don't care. I want to stay out of prison. So, you can leave or you can stay way longer than you want. I'm fixing to choke the shit out of you. Don't come sniffing around. You know what I mean? You were officially FO. This is before everybody said that FOFA. Before that was commonplace. This was about, probably about, I think that roof's been on there about 6 years now. Anyway, yeah, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, no, hell no. I ain't putting up with that. You know what I mean? I'm out of town for weeks. I don't want the enemy putting something in my head. You know what I mean? I'm going to guard and defend mine. And it's very well guarded and all that and everything. I mean, I don't want to be jealous to the point that, you know, wind up in prison killing somebody or whatever else like that. But, like, if I come home and she's in bed with some dude, like, I'm leaving. Like, I'm not even going to say that. I'm just going to leave. You know what I mean? But, like, if it ain't at that point, somebody's just sniffing. That's what I call it. They're trying to get to that point. Like I'll just tell them. You know what I mean? Be like, hey, I'll kill you. You know what I mean? And hopefully they'll move on or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully that's enough. But if they actually make it through the defenses and get a little, then that's only because she allowed that. And at that point, the Bible says, you know, you're supposed to stick together no matter what, but at that point, you can release her from the marital vows. You know what I mean? It's like kick rocks. You know what I'm saying? But I don't do that personally. Like, with just my own saying, like, I think about God to take care of somebody. I will take care of them all the days of my life to the best of my ability, unconditionally. Whether they're right, wrong, whatever, don't care. I mean, I care, whatever. It definitely is not it's a deal breaker on some stuff. Like, if my ex-wife came back, it's like, I need help, blah, blah, this and that. Like, she ain't getting no Peter. You know what I mean? If she's like, you know, hey, I'm dying of cancer and, you know, I don't have nowhere to live, I'm like, you know, there's a room over there. You know what I mean? Here's some food, shelter, whatever. You know, I'm not just going to turn them away under dire circumstances, whatever else like that. And plus, I don't live there, so then it'd just be like my ex-wife living with my now wife. You know what I mean? And that'll work itself out to whatever degree. And yeah, thank God I'm not in that position. And thank God for the truck driver, right? Anyways, so how do we go from dream to nightmare? Yes, abandoned ship. Run to the hills, run for your life. Galloping hard on the plain. Just run, Forrest. Anyway, so think of good dreams. God bless. Okay, dream, D-R-E-A-M, new, real, romantic, excellent, adventure, meaningful. There you go. That's our outline. We're off the rails as usual, in the ditch, driving across Arkansas. My sister's got a bucket full of possums. I put on that deal. I put a link to a song on there. It's called If That Ain't Country. Anyways, Rock L, I hope this helps.